Woodland Zip Tie or Canadian Jam Knot? Let's find out right now. The Woodland Zip Tie and the Canadian Jam Knot are two great options for binding a blanket or tarp when out camping. In the case of the Woodland Zip Tie, we're basically creating a hitch knot tied around an object to bind it or hold it together. By forming a couple loops in our length of rope and then folding them together, we have the girth hitch. With our girth hitch formed, we can pass our standing parts through the knot. At this point, the girth hitch is a little bit different from a girth hitch because we're passing our ends through. So, in fairness, let's call this the Woodland Zip Tie. Now we can cinch it up, nice and tight as shown here. Untying the knot is also relatively easy. Now let's look at the Canadian Jam Knot. And the Canadian Jam Knot is really just an arbor knot, but was given the name Canadian Jam Knot by bushcrafters. It's good to know the real name for identification, but whatever you want to call it, it's good for me, as long as we keep practicing knots. As you saw, the first thing I did was I tied a stopper knot, and in this example, it was a figure 8 stopper. From there, we just need to create a simple overhand knot, but leave it loose, don't tighten it up yet. Next, I passed the opposite end through the overhand knot, with the working ends traveling in the same direction. Now we can cinch up the overhand knot. I'll adjust my knot so that the figure 8 stopper knot is close to the overhand knot and the other end of the rope. And now cinch everything up tight with the blanket. Let's have a close look at the structure of this knot. What we have is some friction between the rope and the blanket. And we also have some friction and tension within the structure of the overhand knot tied around the rope. With the Canadian Jam Knot, we also have a stopper knot, but we should think of the stopper knot by another technical term, and that term is a wedge. A wedge is one of the ancient tools that we use a lot in life. They are typically objects that have one thick end and tapering to a thin edge, and are then driven between two objects or parts of an object to secure them or separate them in place. But not all wedges are tapered, like this rock that I used to wedge under the car tire so it doesn't roll down the hill. Or, in today's knot application, it's the figure 8 stopper knot. If we look closely here, the figure 8 stopper knot has a lever action, and the stopper wedges against the opposing rope. As far as untying goes, the Canadian Jam Knot can be easily untied by pushing the stopper knot aside and releasing the tension in the knot. And there you have it, the Woodland Zip Tie and the Canadian Jam Knot. Let me know in the comments which one you use, which one you prefer, which one you think is superior, and which one you should avoid. Thanks for watching.